Welcome to Couch Talk. Today we'll meet a real-life warrior whose positive outlook on life has turned a story of illness into a story of resilience and hope.
My name is Nalie Agustin. I'm a blogger and cancer survivor, and I am passionate about life.
Nalie, as you know, there's a lot of bloggers out there. It's a career that has really become a popular modern career, right? That didn't exist a couple of years ago. The most popular ones are fashion bloggers and event bloggers. There's so many, especially in Montreal. However, you kind of stand out of the bunch. Can you tell us a little bit about what your topic is for your blog?
Well, Nalie.ca is my diary. It's literally my online journal. And I started the day that I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow, the same exact day.
The same exact day, I remember I got the phone call from my doctor telling me that it was official, my tumors were tumors. And I just had this reflex because I used to record everything anyways, and I was really big on just social media. It was fun to me, so at that point I just felt like I needed to express myself. And so I pulled out my phone and I just started recording myself and how I felt on that exact moment. And then after that, it was just like test after test and appointment after appointment. There was always something like happening, like a story to tell. And I just felt this need to express myself. And so I created my blog, and when I released it, there was over 15,000 hits in one day.
Wow.
And then I'd just get hundreds of emails from other women who are also in their 20s who had breast cancer saying, oh, I thought I was alone.
Right.
And then now they found me. And then I knew I had something going here.
And what's touching about this is that a lot of people do think that breast cancer is something that's more for older women. They tell you, I mean, I have cancer in my family, breast cancer. My mom had that. And so when I go do my checkups, they used to always say, don't worry about it. Worry about it when you're like over 30, and then, you know, but the odds of you getting it young are just slim to none, so don't worry.
That's my exact story, is that initially I felt the lumps myself after taking a shower when I was washing myself, and I went to my family doctor, whom I was just going to see because of my annual checkup. And she told me, it's probably just a cyst, it's probably just fiber, extra hormones, it's normal in your 20s. And when she gave me a referral paper to go get checked, I misunderstood it was for an ultrasound, but I was asking for a mammogram. You know, when you think of like getting your breast checked, you think of a mammo. And when I gave my birth date, they would tell me, oh no, we don't see women under the age of 40.
Right.
So immediately you think that it's not even possible, you know? So I thought it was important through my blog to just make that as public as possible so that people see that a young woman who's healthy, who's fit, who's active can get breast cancer.
Right. I think it's important for people to know that and to go for checkups, even if they are in their 20s.
Exactly.
Now, what about the Nalie before the blog? What kind of person were you? I'm assuming you weren't really sure about what you wanted to do career-wise.
Exactly.
And I'm fairly sure you didn't expect to get diagnosed.
No, last thing. Well, I graduated with a degree in communications. So the person I was, I guess I was always active. I was really into fitness and sports. I used to dance. I used to play basketball. I was always doing something new, and people loved that about me because they never knew what to expect.
Right.
Me, it was a problem because I never knew what to pursue, just because I'm the type of person who's so passionate about life that I loved trying a lot of different things. And so I guess people already were interested about my life because they never knew where I was headed. One day I would be, I don't know, hosting an event here. I'd be doing a dance show there. So because I was so active on social media already, I already had this little following of like, you know, what's Nalie up to today?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a blog before or?
I didn't. I've always wanted to, and I actually auditioned for like Much Music
Cool.
VJ search, yeah, because that's something that interested me too. And everyone, after doing my audition video, everyone was like, "You have to start a YouTube channel. You have to start a YouTube channel." And that was like a few months before being diagnosed. So I guess that's where the idea of starting Nalie.ca, my video log and writing derived from, is just me always wanting to do it, but never knowing what for. And then it's for an even better reason because it's helping others.
Right, right. And did you know that it would become so popular once you launched it?
Honestly, I was doing it for myself.
Okay.
Like it was my form of therapy. I'm just someone who needs to express myself. Like I have to let it out.
Right.
And that's what a diary is for. That's why I call it the diary of a 25-year-old battling breast cancer, because it's just my thoughts on the moment. I let it out and I feel free.
Right.
And so when I released it, it was mostly just for my family, my friends, because I wanted to keep them updated, and repeating my story over and over again. It was kind of annoying. But then, yeah, when I released it, I guess it was that shock factor of like that girl who's always been so active and fit and healthy has breast cancer. So
the social girl
just got shared and shared and shared, and I've always had like thousands of views every day. It's pretty crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you mentioned keeping your family updated. How has all this impacted them? Because they seem very present in everything that you do.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a huge shock to them, but the fact that I'm handling it well, which is why I'm handling it well, because everything that makes my family sad makes me sad. So it's kind of my motivation to make sure that I stay strong, just because seeing my mother cry is probably like the worst thing to me. So they've been super supportive, but of course, since my spirits have been really high, they have no problem with it. But they find it pretty interesting that, you know, my life is out there in public, but they're enjoying the attention too.
Are they? And they've done, did they do one of the breast cancer run with you also, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, exactly. In 2013, we did the Run for the Cure, and we ended up being 130 runners more for Team Nalie, and we raised over $27,000. So the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation loved our story and loved our efforts, so they invited my family to be a part of their campaign this year. So my family is part of the commercials that are going on.
That's amazing. Very cool. And how has this impacted your romantic life?
Well, luckily, what's funny about this story is that it's kind of what created my romantic life. Well, it's because my boyfriend and I were friends before, and I was at a certain point in my life where I didn't really want to get into a relationship, and I just had a bunch of fears and barriers up, but I knew he always it was more than just friends, and he was interested in me, but I had my fears, let's just say. And with my diagnosis, he really showed up at every single moment that I needed him, and he went the extra mile when he could have easily got scared and back away. So what more does a woman need? You know?
Seriously, talk about like showing your love for someone.
Exactly, and he's been really supportive, and he's been probably key to me feeling confident and still beautiful no matter everything and all the symptoms I encountered, such as losing my hair. He loved my bald head, and he loves my short hair now. So
did he shave his hair too? With that?
Yeah,
'cause I know
he
some
did.
of your brothers, to in camaraderie, shaved their heads.
Exactly, they broke the ice for me. They shaved my head, their heads before I did, and we just did it all in one day, and it became fun at that point. You know?
That's amazing. I mean, you have such a great support group around you.
It's key. It's key.
I can only imagine, because you've shown so much strength throughout all this, and it must help to have such a supportive family and an amazing boyfriend who shows up for everything.
I don't know what I'd do without them, honestly.
But you know what? I have a feeling they probably take a lot of strength from you. Like, you inspire them to be stronger. And I've said this before in fitness classes, because you take classes at Urban Body Studio,
I do.
and I do also. And I always think, like, if you can go right out of like radiation to workout, I mean, what excuse can anyone use that day?
Right. I try to push myself and challenge myself as much as possible, but I think exercise is key to just beating it's prevention, right? And like often people feel tired after their treatments, and I'm like, well, did you take a walk today? Did you exercise? Did you break a sweat? And often after Urban Body, when I'm drenched in sweat, obviously, you know how it is, I feel even more energized than I did in the morning.
Right. Yeah, the exercise kind of wakes you up and gives you the extra energy, for sure. And where do you see yourself now? I mean, you're in the final stages, right, of the radiation, and
I'm almost done.
You're almost done.
Almost cancer-free. Can't wait.
So, what are you going to do after? What are your plans for the blog?
Okay, for the blog, what I found, Nalie.ca was helpful to all women going through breast cancer on the moment. As soon as they would be diagnosed, that's life now. You go on the internet and you search your diagnosis, and they'd find me. And I want to continue to do that. I want to still be present even when I'm cancer-free, even when I'm done with it and I have long hair down to the butt again. I still want to be that girl that they search, that they see me bald, no eyebrows, no lashes, sick to the bone, and still smiling and still living life and still exercising and proving to them that, you know, you can still, you'll make it. You can still make it. You can still live. You can still be happy despite having this diagnosis. And that's what I want Nalie.ca to be, just to constantly be online and be there for those who are newly diagnosed. And who knows, start my own foundation with it.
Right,
and
for sure. And people can see you doing better and being healthy, and maybe they can follow you in you maintaining your health.
Exactly. That's another plan. I have so many plans, I told you. There's always so many things I want to do, but yes, definitely the recovery journey is a huge part of it, where I end up kind of, because what inspired me is seeing other women and seeing where they were at. And I saw a woman who was diagnosed with breast cancer, and then she ended up being like this fitness girl, and she was like, had so many, like her body was amazing, she was jacked, she was strong, and I was like, wow, like if she went through it, then so can I, you know?
Right.
So that's probably also what I want to do with my blog.
So you want to continue inspiring people?
Definitely. Hopefully I can make a living out of inspiring people. That would be my dream, my biggest dream.
Right, of course. I think you will. I have no doubt about that. I think you will. And I think, you know, a foundation would be great right now. Why not? You already have the following, so...
Exactly. Specifically to young women with breast cancer, because I think there definitely needs to be more research on that and more awareness.
Definitely. I mean, in the medical industry, I find that diseases that are specific to women are still a bit under researched. So I mean, Couch Talk is all about female empowerment, right? And I think one of the things should be a better education of the female body and the illnesses that we have.
I felt my lumps myself, but it took me probably over a year to even do something about it. And if I could prevent that from happening, then that'd be another dream come true.
Right, definitely. So with everything that you've gone through now and everything that you know now, what would you say to your younger self or to your pre-cancer self?
My pre-cancer self? Honestly, nothing. Because I think everything happens for a reason, and that's just how life goes. Like, all the little dots end up connecting, and that's what I'm realizing today, that everything that I've been through in the past makes sense. So I have no regrets, and I wouldn't give myself a heads up for anything.
No? Not a little tap on the shoulder?
No, probably if I felt those lumps, then go get it checked immediately and not a year later. Okay. I prioritized a lot of other things than going to the doctor at that stage of my life. So.
And is this the same advice you'd give to maybe a young woman who is just now getting the news? Yes,
definitely. I think my biggest advice to them is to live day by day, not to freak yourself out, because it's going to be a whole lot of information if ever you do get diagnosed. And my biggest advice is to never hide. And I think that's what helped me. I think that's what Nalie.ca is about. My whole diary was making my journey public. But then I had nothing to be ashamed about, because everybody already knew. And I could just go walk down the street with my bald head and no one would be like, why is she bald?
It wasn't a secret.
It wasn't a secret, and I think that's the biggest release. And you can continue living your life the way you always did if you just be yourself and don't feel like you need to hide.
Especially something like that. I mean, what is there to hide? You know, it's life that happens.
And it's an extra stress, you know, like having to wear a wig and like make up a story and stuff. No, just live your life and to the fullest and do everything you love to do every day.
Well, you're definitely an inspiration. I hope that your blog continues for a very, very long time.
Thank you.
And you're already getting back in shape and doing all these things. So
Trying.
I think, if anything, it'll transition from, you know, recovery to just living a healthy lifestyle. So I can't imagine it not being inspirational, no matter what you decide to do.
Right.
So Nalie, thank you so much for coming on Couch Talk today. You've been amazing and inspiration, and I think you're just so brave. You're definitely a badass chick. I don't know if I can say that. They'll bleep it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you to you guys for joining us on another episode of Couch Talk. And live your day to the fullest, right? See you next time on Couch Talk.
Wish to see you, wish to see you, many all the colors. Wish to see you, wish to see you, many all the colors.